Welcome, Chiefs Kingdom. Thanks for tuning in to this Red Kingdom Media production, bringing you raw, authentic Chiefs coverage. Make sure to like and subscribe to stay up to date on your team. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Cheese! Welcome to the continuing installment for this week's edition of the Home of the Chiefs podcast, where the Chiefs are our homes. Your hosts, Clinton and Shannon, are back with you once again. Thankfully, another week of successful Chiefs victory in the books and another exciting / scary playoff matchup to continue.
Yeah.
So thank you all for popping in, whether you're catching when this is hitting live or you're listening to the video or the Spotify upload after the fact. Thanks all for spending some time with us, and we look forward to this conversation we're about to have with you today. So let's get straight to it. So as we know, wide right, wild night. The Chiefs were able to defeat the Buffalo Bills, and obviously the kick is the main storyline of that. But overall, we're going to talk about how that game was exciting for us up until the crying Mobsters, which of course is the fact that the Bills missed the kick. So their fan base is left upset, and we're left excited. But arguably, that game could have been over if they had made that kick. So we're just going to kind of explain how we felt during the end of the game itself. Then, in case anybody who's not watching the video itself, we got Willie Nelson in the house because we are on the road again. Chiefs are playing in their 6th consecutive AFC championship. This time, it's in Baltimore versus the Arrowhead Invitational. So we saw the offense do better against Buffalo. So we're going to talk how that was and the impression that left on us. And then lastly, count me out. So a lot of people last week were picking the Bills hardcore, and specifically Josh Allen. And this week is no exception, with the Chiefs being the underdog again. And I mean, we're not on the other side of that. We have concerns just as much as we had all season. But Lamar Jackson getting all the hype, just like Josh Allen was last week. So we will kind of talk about whether or not we have a chance to get through this game and keep the momentum going for another couple weeks, both for the Chiefs concern and for Red Kingdom Media's. So before we get into our first topic of the day, I'm going to ask you all to please like and subscribe. Follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. You can follow us on Spotify and rate us 5 stars if you prefer your audio podcasts. But other than that, if you like short form content, we're on all platforms as well. Just look us up. I'm sure we've got something you might be interested in. So first topic, let's go ahead and jump on to the fact that the Chiefs actually did pull off the upset on Sunday night, and the Chiefs were able to go into Buffalo for their first road playoff game and beat a team where you had the sense that team was ready to beat you. And the overall feeling is if this team wasn't going to beat you in this scenario this year, when the Chiefs have looked that way on offense the weeks and months prior to this game, if the Buffalo wasn't going to win this game, when are they going to do it?
Yeah.
So that's why I was on I'm nervous because, this is Josh Allen's game. And well, through the course of the entire game, to sum up that, it was Josh Allen's game to lose at that point. And beginning of that game, you just knew. Every drive was either going to be a score or the field goals happened early, but then after that, every time they touched the ball, it was going to be a touchdown, except for the times that they punted in it and you were genuinely surprised by it.
Right.
But that overall, it was Josh Allen took over this game. However, quarterback on the other side of the field was also ready.
Yep.
Drive after drive to do whatever it took to put his team ahead. And there's only one singular punt by the Chiefs all game.
Yeah, that was good.
And besides their stinking turnover, which, in hindsight, we can all shake off. But if that was what caused them to lose,
it could have. That
would have been the worst feeling, and everyone would have been throwing some shade McColl's way instead of, Bill's kicker's way.
Yep.
So overall, the way to digest this game is it was exactly the way we thought it was going to go. Just maybe not the exact specifics, but we knew it was going to be every drive is a score, every possession has to count. You need points. It's a punch for punch.
Yeah.
This is a fight. This ain't just a friendly competition. This is, you got to play your best, and every yard matters. Every point matters. So,
yeah, it was really interesting to watch the teams go back and forth and kind of see what we haven't seen all year and watch that kind of unfold. And we didn't make that many mistakes, which I think was the best thing for us.
And players that had been making mistakes
or dropping catches
in previous games were stepping up.
They were, so they actually did well.
This was the best case scenario. This is what we would have said week 1 is.
Yeah.
If everybody played their best and nobody made mistakes and everyone was on point and they were reliable, they were buttoned up, they were professional about it, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They took it seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what we were hoping for all season, and we kept hinting at it and faking it out several times, saying this is when it's happening, this is when it's happening,
and then it just didn't.
It doesn't happen that way. So, we might be leaning back onto that. It's kind of working again train. But I mean, going into this game to start it, we definitely weren't thinking this is an offensive game to, we're going to have to go for 500 yards and it's going to be a 30-point game back and forth.
Yeah.
I mean, it saw it approach that, but they were able to hold them just underneath the 30. But I mean, if the Chiefs were going to score again, they were ready to score.
They were
over 30 points. So it seemed like they had that idea.
Yeah.
That no matter what the defense did, they always felt like they had to put one extra score on the scoreboard just in case anything were to happen.
Yeah, that's true.
I love that. They played about the way that we want them to. It was pretty balanced.
It was.
I'd say.
Yeah.
Pacheco ran about as much as you wanted him to. Probably could have ran a little bit more. That's always the case. But I mean, obviously they liked what they saw. They were picking on certain players in certain parts of the field and weren't letting up on it.
Yeah.
So I'll be excited for the offense to get a chance the rest of this week to prepare a game plan, figure out who on the Ravens defense they really want to, point out and try to exploit. Because you definitely felt like Buffalo was doing that to our linebackers as well. When Nick Bolton was on the field or when Willie Gay didn't finish the game, it definitely felt like that was where Buffalo was trying to target us because they knew our D-line was strong and they knew our secondary was strong.
Yeah, I got a little nervous when Willie Gay went out, and then we were kind of weak on our defense. So I was like, ooh, this is our good spot. We can't be weak here. But our offense stepped up to fill that gap.
Right. Yeah, during the game, it was shifting because you started to feel more like secure in the offense. Like no matter what they were going to do, whatever it took, or just enough to win or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it was back on the, oh no, don't put the defense in a bad situation, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So
Oh no, defense.
It was good to see the offense make that adjustment and come out confident this game.
They did.
Other than like, I think there was maybe like one drop or something the entire game. It was about as perfect as you could play.
It was.
So that was very refreshing to see. I'm very glad that this was the game they felt like they needed to do it in, and they executed successfully. Maybe Miami game they assumed they could get away with not as much because they knew
how
like more injured Miami is even than Buffalo was. Like Miami was even more down men, and the Chiefs were like, "Oh, we got this. Just do whatever plays we want, and we can just keep chipping away for a bigger and bigger lead." This game was like, we need to score, and we're done scoring field goals. It's the second half. It's touchdowns or bust now.
Yeah,
so,
that was cool.
Big up to the team for holding out that victory. And all that, of course, leads to the crying mobsters. So obviously the Bills kicker had the shot to tie the game, giving the ball back to the Chiefs offense anyway, with a minute 40 left to go. And obviously the kick fails wide right. As
I can't believe that.
It hasn't in the Super Bowl. So Stad, Bills Mafia, Stad. I feel for them because the Chiefs have been you. The Chiefs have and will be you in the future in points in time too. We're not immune to this feeling.
The wind taking the ball and doinking it out. Yeah, no, we're not immune to that.
So like that ending drive was, at first Josh Allen was committed to no matter what, I'm scoring. And then he was winning the entire game running the ball. And then that last drive, he runs the ball and that fumble, and his teammate stops the Chiefs from picking it up.
Yep.
So Buffalo holds on to the ball a little bit longer, but they had that, oh no, that, and that tense up feeling come up again.
Yeah, they're like, oh, okay, we can actually be beat now.
So then the rest of that final 3 plays happen. There's an incompletion where he just throws it away. And there's I think it's the incompletion before that where Chris Jones basically throws another man into Josh Allen. So the pass isn't perfect. So who knows how good that throw might have been. But either way, the Bills are forced to 4th down, and they go for the field goal. And of course, their kicker was so good and had it missed in under 2 minutes and all these other times, but none of them was in a playoff situation.
Yep.
So as much as any of those stats can be, if it's not game on the line or
true, he had so much pressure. Like the game was on the line. Like he can win or lose the game, and
And I'll say to that, because Butker, as we know, has been perfect all postseason, and besides those, I think 2 misses, and maybe only 1, and it came out after that New England game where he missed. The balls weren't even inflated properly. So
oh wow!
It was like both of those kickers had trouble with balls because of that.
Wow.
So, Butker, as we know, has been lights out, especially in postseason. So he was in press conference yesterday, as of this releasing, where he's asked about the Buffalo kicker and basically saying, like, I'll reach out to him once football has been done and over with and get fully away from the game of football before like reaching out and say that stuff happens again. But I mean, Harrison basically said, that's why you got to stay humble, because you never know when the kick's going in or when it's not. Sometimes you
True.
can't control 100% of that. And
True.
wind definitely messes with that.
Yeah.
So it sucks. The Chiefs have been on the losing end of bad kicker, and the name of the kicker lives on. But like, we're in the day of age where there's a social media account attached to people and death threats get sent. It's a bad scene. We got to remember that everyone's human, just like you and me. Give people their respect they deserve. That going through a hard time. If you're upset that something happened to you, imagine being one of the people blamed for it and how they feel themselves, not just projecting anger and guilt and shame onto others.
True.
So need to be respectful and give this man his kudos, because he's in the NFL for a reason. You can't just crap on somebody for their worst mistake. So,
yeah, Buffalo fans need to chill.
Yeah. And, I know they're hurt, and they feel like they almost had us.
Yeah.
I mean, we felt like they almost had us.
They did.
I mean, that kick itself wasn't going to be the decider by any means, but the Chiefs were ready to keep scoring if that was the case.
True. Yeah.
So who's to say Buffalo would have been disappointed in that regard when Mahomes gets to be the ultimate bad guy?
Disappointed in their defense instead of the guy in their offense.
Instead of somebody on their own team.
Yeah.
Exactly. You get to be mad at another team again.
Yeah.
Versus trying to find blame and pointing it at your own team. How many losses this season are arguably because the Chiefs have lost
got
the
in
game
their own
themselves.
way. Yeah. Yep.
And it's like, yeah, great. The other team was fine. And those fan bases might say we're not respecting them enough. And it's like, maybe, but we also know that had we just played great the first time, it wouldn't have ended like that.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Just hoping that the world takes a step back and remembers this is a game, and there's life outside this game. Real life happens outside this game. They're not on the football field 100% of their lives.
They're not robots, they're humans.
And seeing somebody like make a mistake at their job is never a flattering experience. Go to your job and have someone watch you at your worst moment on your worst day.
I've made plenty of mistakes in past jobs.
And someone says that's who you are. And we know that that's not right.
Yeah.
That one mistake isn't enough to define you. And I know Bills Mafia's got to be completely heartbroken right now. And I completely am, I feel for you. But you got to know that your time isn't 100% over with. There's still another chance you get that you finally slay the dragon and beat the Chiefs, so to say. It just didn't happen this year.
Yep.
And there's plenty of time. Josh Allen has proven himself to be a heck of a ball player, a person trying to do whatever it takes to win, and then sometimes gets in his own way. The Chiefs have been subject to that all season as well.
Yeah.
So we know what that's like when all the effort, still you're falling just a tiny bit short of your expectations. So it hurts, but just know that this is not the end for Buffalo, and Chiefs fans, we know that.
Yeah.
We know that we're going to see Buffalo again, and
they're good competition.
Some of us are going to be confident. Some of us are going to feel like the matchups favors Buffalo, or that it's another dead even matchup depending on who they got. So just keep your head up and root for the Chiefs to go all the way, knowing they beat you. Stop trying to hate on the Chiefs just because they beat on you.
Yeah.
All right. So now that we're midway through, go ahead and give us a like and subscribe and follow us on all our social media platforms at Red Kingdom Media. If you'd like, we already have some content released this week. You can go back way earlier in this week and you can watch my Home of the Chiefs breakdown video, basically going over this game as a whole and talking through those start to finish. And then also, if you want, you can check out the Chiefin podcast that came out just previous to this release. And you can hear Daily Dale and Lonnie's takes on the Bills game and also this upcoming Ravens game, which we are now going to transition into. It is Shotgun Patty. So it is official. We are on the road again.
On the road again.
Copyrighted immediately.
Slap.
But the Chiefs are playing in a 6th consecutive AFC Championship game, something they had only ever been to 3 total times before Patrick Mahomes came to the Chiefs. He has done 6 straight times in a row.
Yeah.
Winning 4 of them. And yeah, there's 3 of them. 19, 20, 20. 3 of them. Winning 3 of them. He's going to hopefully go for a 4th one.
Okay.
This Sunday at 2 p.m., baby.
Ooh, that's a good time.
For Patrick Mahomes, 2 p.m.?
Yeah.
You're darn right it is.
Yeah.
2 Patrick Mahomes. I know, that's going to be the joke all week, baby. It's time. So we kind of hinted at it a little bit, but the offense maybe kind of fixed themselves this week and against kind of a depleted Buffalo defense, but still a respectable defense nonetheless, a team that always prides themselves on playing good defense.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs balled out. The stars made plays. Some of the non-stars made plays. Starters made plays. The backups to the starters made plays. So, like, give me your thoughts. What did you see out of the offense on Sunday that maybe you hadn't seen several weeks before?
Well, like you said, they were connecting more. Like everyone was like catching the ball, nobody was dropping it, which is the main thing. That's what we want to see. Keep doing that. Don't drop any balls that are, especially like right here. Like
if it hits you in the hands,
yeah, it's
please
obvious.
Don't
Drop it. And then we seen it was MVS that was doing better. So we've seen him doing better, which is good because we've seen he's been like off and on. Like he's had some down times and
he's disappeared.
He's disappeared.
And he can accept that quote criticism because his stats don't lie.
Yeah, that's true.
What happened. But now you're in the playoffs, things are different, and now you arguably have as many yards this game, literally the most yards this game than you had all season in any other game.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna step up and it's in the playoffs, great. That's when this team needs you to step up the most. If this is when you're waiting for, and all the Chiefs fans who said he was bad need to shut up because all he was doing was waiting until this game and on to play.
He was saving his energy all season for the playoffs.
Then we had a whole nother reason to be upset by him, but that's beside the point.
Yeah.
But you're right. Some players are stepping up. We were running the ball effectively.
Our runs.
We were like passing out of multiple tight end set, so we were forcing Buffalo to be arguably in their worst alignment. If they're missing linebackers, then that's the position that you'd use to guard a tight end or a running back, essentially. So not having as many resources there. gave them a very hard task. There's that one play where Travis gets wide open in the end
Yeah.
zone.
Yep.
That's one of those plays that leaves them always wrong because essentially the formation they're playing out of. If the Chiefs are going to play big boy football, essentially multiple linemen, multiple tight ends, and that versus how most of the NFL has transitioned to 3 wide receivers and throw the ball 100 times type. It's fun to see like the 2 best teams left in the AFC in this matchup going backwards.
Yeah,
in a
that's
sense.
true.
Loving the pound the rock football, the multiple tight ends, and the play action passes to a wide open tight end because no one expects that anymore type plays. Like to see advancement in the NFL and then to beat advancement is to just like keep going back like
Go back where you came
archaically,
from.
like and just keep going back. Like a new edition. Oh, okay. Well, to beat that, we got to go play some 1940s football.
That's cool though. That's really neat.
So I like what I've seen because it's a continuation of the Miami game where they're utilizing who they are and finding their identity and not like pressing so much. But now there was that like step up in intensity and confidence level because like threw passes to players that maybe during the regular season would have been like
True.
either us saying that or Patrick looking at a receiver and no, I'm not going to throw that to you. So that was good. And the fact that it was away is even better because you know it's loud. You know that the other team is trying to make it so that the Chiefs offense has a harder time.
Yeah.
And I mean, early on that contributed.
That one play.
The Clyde screen pass where his entire team goes to one side, he goes to the other side. It's like who didn't hear which side they were supposed to be on. So stuff like that can happen, obviously. But I don't know. Maybe the fact that it's postseason, so all those arguments and doubts and fears that we had aren't relevant in their mind. Like they just wipe it clean and act like none of that happened. I mean,
maybe
I guess that'd work.
Yeah.
If they're gonna believe that they don't and haven't made mistakes, then after this week we won't think that either.
Yeah.
But
we have to see it.
A mistake, didn't nearly cost them the whole game to Buffalo per se. The Chiefs obviously had a chance to come back or keep the ball or whatever it is at the end.
Yep.
But the fact that they could have what felt like iced the game by going 2 possessions ahead and turned it over.
Yeah.
That was the oh no. But the good thing is that it did not spiral. It was one thing.
It was one single thing.
And nothing else happened from it again.
Yeah. And it didn't happen very first thing, it happened at the end.
And just like in the Miami game when we had that fumble, it was at the end of the game, garbage time, the clock was running out. It didn't matter.
Yep.
This one mattered a little more, but in the grand scheme of things, the Chiefs managed to make their way out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, it could have been really bad, but
so now we know kind of the standard, a certain level of mistake. So the Chiefs don't have to play 100% perfect anymore. But if they can play 87% perfect, for instance, that would be enough, even against such a hard opponent that the Chiefs have coming up in both offense and defense. So that's the key. It's can the Chiefs continue to play near perfect and not make the costly mistake at the worst time?
Yep.
To make sure that their playoff push does not end yet.
Yeah, they can keep the momentum and keep it strong.
So Trying to think. Do you have anything else you want to discuss about the offensive side specifically, either from the game that we just saw or kind of projecting into this Sunday's matchup?
Well, the Mahomes and Travis stat was cool.
Breaking Tom Brady and Gronk's postseason record.
That was really neat. Well, I think we're just going to continue to see them connect, and then we're going to continue to see Pacheco get it, and Rashi's going to get it too. He's gonna show up and show out, I feel like.
I'll piggyback that last point. The Travis thing, this whole time it looked like he's been slowing down, or the connection isn't quite like as strong. And then this game, it was everything was working. There was no mistakes. There was the immediate connection. It wasn't forced to him. Everything was flowing, like smooth sailing.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, this game plan, they had everything going right for them.
It went well.
They're going up against a much more difficult defense, who obviously does not have the injuries that the Bills had.
Yep.
So they have a much harder task at hand to fend off the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot more challenging, I think.
Because arguably both teams want to play the same style. Run the ball, throw it to their tight end, get down the field, score by any means necessary. And when they're on defense, you got to get every yard the hard way.
Yeah.
So it's another dogfight. That's for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the wire again.
Yes, it is. So that leads us to our final topic for the day. Count me out. So I mentioned at the beginning how last week, few days ago by now, Sunday's matchup against the Bills, Josh Allen was hyped as the better quarterback between he and Mahomes. And even after winning, Allen is somehow getting picked over Mahomes based on what happened.
That's funny.
And this game against the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson and being on the road is no exception. So
yeah.
Ravens are favored. Chiefs are the underdog again. Most of the media is picking Lamar. The Baltimore Ravens are destined to go to the Super Bowl because the Super Bowl colors are purple.
Yeah, what is that about? That's so weird. You showed me, I'm like, what?
So we talked the Bills' chances, the Chiefs' chances against the Bills last week, and they were there, but it was still the concern because Miami just wasn't the opponent the Chiefs needed in the playoffs to prove that they can still tough it out and come out ahead. Because in the regular season, a lot of those close matchups, they weren't coming out ahead.
Yeah.
There was something happening.
Yep.
So now the offense seems to be clicking just enough to, assume that they're going to put up several touchdowns. It's not just going to be a, hey, Butker, go kick us 5 field goals and that's enough to win.
Yeah.
We're done with that. So now all the pressure is back on our, quote, really good number 2 ranked Chiefs defense. I mean, holding Josh Allen to 24 points, you could argue whether you think that's good or bad. They still haven't gave up 30 points yet. They're still the only team in the NFL not to give up a game of 30 points yet.
Yeah, I feel it's pretty good.
So they have their hands cut out for them again.
Yes.
They've got arguably a even more dynamic quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who runs just as much as Josh Allen does, who throws just as good of a ball as Josh Allen does, who has better targets this season, got a great running game around them, good offensive lineman, and a stout defense that plays with that same intensity. So what the Chiefs did against Buffalo, they got to replicate that arguably times 2
Yes.
against Lamar.
Yep.
So the Chiefs have played and have beaten the Ravens in the past, and they've also lost to the Ravens in the past.
That's true.
So as much as I love our defense, I can't say they're not going to give up tons of yards and tons of touchdowns anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a slight. It's
They're just tired.
And as much planning as you can do defensively, offense has all the control because they get to dictate how everything goes.
Mm-hmm.
So the defense, they got some studs, and despite what we saw in the quote like worst outing, there were a crap ton of tackles made that game, some fumbles caused.
Yeah.
There was near interceptions. So the defense made Buffalo work for every yard. And eventually they did by running the ball constantly.
Mm-hmm.
And then Chiefs tightened up, and the Bills didn't know what to do after that. They tried chucking it, and that wasn't working out. So then it went back to Josh Allen keep running the ball.
Yep.
So will that same tactic be used against Lamar? Maybe. I don't think this season Lamar is he's not as frantic to run the way that like Josh Allen was this game.
Yeah.
You felt like he believed like if he didn't score, he was toast.
Yeah.
I think Lamar, he has a little more faith in everybody around him,
Mm-hmm.
where he won't have that like extreme pressure and all this spotlight put on him to be the one that wins it or loses it for him.
Yep.
That he can just be a member of the team, and if it's him who makes the play, then it's him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
Like similar to Mahomes is.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have total faith that he would get a drive to lead or win or whatever the case, but he would use whoever it was to do that. It wouldn't just be Mahomes go run it every time because nobody's getting open or no one will catch it for you or whatever.
Yeah. True.
So the defense has a challenge. That's for damn sure. They had a challenge last week, and in 24 points, that might still be the highest mark the Chiefs have given up in point total yet. So we'll see how much more or less they are able to hold the Baltimore Ravens to. But now the pressure seems all back on the offense to match score for score, just like this Buffalo game was. And then all the pressure again will go on to the defense to say, when are you going to show me that they're done scoring? Because I can't remember if I talked with you this stat or if I just mentioned it to the crew on the post game. The Bills only scored one touchdown the entire second half. They got 7 points.
Yeah, you told me that.
So the whole thing is, if the Chiefs don't allow more than one score in the second half, 2 quarters of football, not just in one, they play phenomenal. And you would have asked me prior to Sunday night if they would have done that. I would have said no way. And even at the end of the game, I still wouldn't have believed that. Wow, it was. It was 17. Then they got 7 more points, and then they didn't score again.
Yep.
Yeah, that's crazy. So if the defense replicates that effort of some kind, I feel like we gotta feel somewhat confident here.
Yeah. Yeah.
If we see at any point before that the offense
struggle
or shoot themselves in a foot or two again, then the nerves will kick back.
Yeah, we'll be like, oh no.
Like, I'm liking the playing the underdog role, playing the villain, playing the, oh no, we don't got a shot. And that's what all the people would say around us. And that's the mindset I'm going to have.
Mm-hmm.
So that way it can be in your face when this team, who you said couldn't put it together, puts it together in a year
And does it.
where they're wounded. They don't have as many guys. We know the team isn't as great as it could be.
Mm-hmm.
This is a down year.
Yeah.
And they've still made it the same distance they've made every other year with Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
just have to let it sink in and really appreciate all that entails, because we are so lucky and we're in the tornado right now that we can't even like appreciate what's going on around us until eventually it's not, and we have to reflect on it in the past. But just to soak this in, and regardless of a victory going into the Super Bowl, or if it ends here, to say that every year of Patrick Mahomes' career has been an AFC Championship game appearance, as something the Chiefs have not done very often, and have done 2 to 3 times max before Patrick Mahomes came to the Chiefs. We are so lucky to have the team that we do, and we're just crossing our fingers, believing that it was just a matter of time before they put it together and focused and kept at it.
Yeah.
Like they had their struggles, they had their mistakes, and at other times they folded.
Mm-hmm.
And now this team right now believes they are not going to fold. They believe they are going to kill it, and to hell anybody believes otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
They have total confidence in themselves that it is rubbing off on even us who are more the realistic and said, yeah, but you remember all those mistakes.
Yeah.
They remember, but they don't want to.
They don't.
Any of that ever again.
Exactly.
So, boy, I'm pumped for Patrick Mahomes' time on Sunday.
Me too.
At 2 p.m. Patrick Mahomes' time. It's going to be a fantastic game.
Yeah,
all
I'm
around,
excited.
and I'm ready for that game, as I'm sure all of you guys watching and listening to us right now are as well. So thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoy this edition of the Home and Cheese podcast. Like I stated earlier, if you're interested in the breakdown video or the Cheapin podcast, those are both available on this YouTube link. And stay tuned for this coming Saturday, where Mr. Daily Dale himself will have an extra point breaking down this Chiefs vs. Ravens preview and get us excited. And we will be here at the post-game show after the conclusion of the Chiefs-Ravens game, regardless of that outcome, to break down all that happened. So, do you have anything else you'd like to tell the lovely folks before we send them off to enjoy their their days of tailgating?
Let's go! AFC Championship. Let's go. Let's win.
All right, let's bring Lamar Hunt Trophy back to KC, baby.
Yes.
And let's head over to Las Vegas again for another Super Bowl appearance. But one game at a time.
Yeah.
If we make it there, great, and we'll be back. If we don't, it's been a hell of a ride, and we love you all so much and hope that you continue to be on it for this off season and the next season to come. Thank you all so much. God bless you. Go Chiefs!
Thanks for checking out this update straight from the heart of Chiefs Kingdom. We appreciate your passion, so please leave a like and follow us wherever you tune in from. See you next tailgate. your trusted source for all things Chiefs, Red Kingdom